Hello and welcome to another episode of It Came From the Page. And today we're entering GarbAugust season. All of August I will be reading trashy books along with Criminali and crew for GarbAugust. And I thought, hey, it's time to do my TBR. I realized when I did my GarbAugust announcement video, as creative as it was, I didn't actually give you any relevant information for the event. Whoops. I'm excited because basically I'll go through all of the week by week, like the prompts and stuff like that for the weeks. And then also, we do have a giant bingo board. I'm not going to go over the bingo board, but you will see the bingo board here. And of course, I will, though, point out in the middle of the bingo board is Pax. We all miss her very dearly. So there's like a bingo board for GarbAugust just for her because she was participating in the event last year. Basically, GarbAugust is just you read trashy books. For me, that's basically reading books that are the equivalent of B movies. They're not going for anything deeper. They don't have any deeper points to them. And they're fluid and they're flexible. Other people have different descriptions of what trash is. It's a big thing. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna, this year, I don't care about other people's definitions. Other than to say, you do you. I'm glad you're doing you. I'll do me, and we'll all just be happy. There'll be no more of me going like, rawr, 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 rawr. Like I did last year. Last year there was like, it's not trash, and how dare you. Now I'm just like, whatever. Do what you want. It's fine. I don't care. Do what you want. And last year when I did GarbAugust, participated in GarbAugust, it didn't particularly go well. I did not get too many books that I actually enjoyed. So I'm being ruthless this year, and if I'm not liking a book, I'm getting rid of it immediately. And I've got an entire series that I bought a bunch of them, and if the one book is bad, they're all going. I'm cleaning house this year. It still went better than every other readathon I've participated in this year. Anyways, we don't need to talk about that. But let's get right into it. So week one of the GarbAugust TBR is focused on men's adventure, which always is bad, and Harlequin and a category romance. So category romance doesn't have to be Harlequin. That's just the most easy thing that comes off the top of my head when you think about category romance. And of course, category romances can be good. Men's adventure are never good. I am a known proponent of destroy all men's adventure, but I do have a few category romance stuff that I will be trying to read out, and it's like it's not wholly category romance. Like what I like about Harlequin especially is that they have like suspense and they have like some sci-fi and like they go into a whole bunch of different directions, which I never really knew about Harlequin. So first up is Hangar 13. I've read the first chapter of this for my GarbAugust, like my intro to GarbAugust, trying to build my TBR. Really liked it. It's basically a ghost is throwing wrenches at people in an airport, and I'm all for it. This is a Harlequin intrigue, and this is Cry of the Wild. And, it just looks cool. It looks cool. Like, I think they're in, like, the Alaskan wilderness, and, probably a bear is going to come, and there's going to be a man, and the man's probably going to fight the bear. You know how it goes. Now, despite my insistence that all men's adventure is bad, I do still have some that I need to go through and get rid of, essentially. One of them is this one, which is Edge meets Steel, which I got this last year. I didn't get any westerns done for June on the Range, so I will actually intend to read some trashy westerns here. Cowboy trash, MJ, for you. So this one is a meeting of Edge, who is this guy that Criminal is in love with, and Steel, which is a guy, he looks like a discount Clint Eastwood with white hair and a white hat. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Steel's horse. It looks like it's got like super abs. I'm like, I don't think horses should have abs, but whatevs. You do you. And the other one is The Outlander's Ice Blood. And this one, I'm gonna guess I won't read and love this book to the end, but it did survive my culling of books during my thing because there was a super stupid funny description of this guy has like this artifact that is supposed to look like Rasputin's penis. So I laughed. Therefore, it made it out of the off that trash heap and live to fight another day. And then the last, but certainly not least, is After Things Fell Apart, which I read again for that vlog, and I loved it. I was like, what is going on? This is wild. I can't wait to get into this. Of course, just looking at this cover, it's trashy. It's going to be good. But next up, the week 2, is Paperbacks from Hell and Vintage Smut. Now, this is the week that I'm not really doing much for this week because I'm always reading Paperbacks from Hell. Like, I don't consider, like, I'm not gonna, like, make a point in GarbAugust to read specifically Paperbacks from Hell because I do it all the time and it's just whatever. And smutty, like, old school smut, I'm not that interested in. I mean, like, I did like the long arm stuff I've read, but, like, I don't really want to read another one of those right now. Or, like, long arm or Lone Star, those are technically vintage smut, and those are kind of fun. But for the most part, I'm into modern stuff. I think we've really got a good hold of smut in the modern era, but I don't know about this vintage smut, so I can't abide. But I do have 2 books that I think are good for the season, and that's basically summary reads that I want to get done. One of these is Bone Grinder by John Lutz, and this is set like right at the end of summer. It's supposed to be some kind of a animal attacks book from the Ozarks, and I'm just into it. I just really love the cover. I've heard this is not a great book. Like, I've heard like it kind of peters off near the end and then not a lot happens, but whatever. And then the other one I really want to read is Fort Privilege. So Fort Privilege is it was in Paperbacks from Hell, although this one is called a science fiction. This is like, it's old timey, like the punks are gonna come to your old house and take it over. So like Fort Privilege, it's like what it sounds like. It's very, very like on the nose social commentary where the rich live in these like huge sprawling apartment buildings and it's gated and the ruffians and the poor people are coming to take it down. And it just seems kind of cool and punk. And I don't know. I'm rooting for the punks as always. The only problem with this book is it's really short, but I don't know if it's like a fucking printing error or what. The font on this is redonkulously small. Like, it's some of the smallest font I've ever seen. So I want to read this. I don't know if I'll get to it though. It's like, and the next one is Novelisations and something else. I don't remember the other part, to be honest with you. It'll be in the description. I'm pretty sure it's novelization. Oh, no. Yes, it's novelizations or books by famous people. Clearly, I'm only participating in one of those. I'm including movie tie-ins in this. And in fact, I'm actually not including movie tie-ins. That was a joke because I'm going full-on video game tie-in. So I've been preparing for all year for this, which is I've been taking books and picking up books that are related to video game movie you can find video game movie versions. Like, there is a novelization for that first Mortal Kombat movie, so technically that's a video game movie novelization, but I'm specifically talking about video game adaptation. So whether or not that's a direct novelizing of a game, or it's a book set in the universe of a game. I've read a few of these. I've been kind of reading these a little bit off and on just so I can know what franchises do I like, what franchises don't I like. All the ones that I have in GarbAugust I have not really dived into, and I also think they're probably going to be pretty bad. So I've got a bunch here. I've been kind of collecting them over the year. And we're just going to kind of get into it, and I'll explain what they are. And this is basically the bulk of my GarbAugust, is going through all of this garbage. So first up, there is a video game series called Diablo. I've never played it because they're not my type of games, but it's like all about like these demons and stuff. So there's the first book is Legacy of Blood. Next up, this one has to be bad. This is off of a sniping video game, but it's Sniper Elite Spear of Destiny. And if you don't know what the Spear of Destiny is, it's like a cool spear that like pierced the Christ or whatever, and it's got magical powers. So you're like, well, okay, I mean, that kind of sounds pretty fun. So like, I don't know if it's gonna be kind of like, witchy woo and like witchy powers and stuff like that, and like old school cosmic stuff? Because if so, I'm down. It's really hard to tell. Then there is a bunch of novelizations for the video game of Doom. Doom is a game where you just shoot demons when you're just like a guy who shoots demons. So like these are not going to be deep or like particularly interesting, but they'll probably just be fun and ridiculous. People online have done fan novelizations for these. Fan audiobooks of these. So I'll probably listen to people audiobooks of those. These just look very silly, and I kind of just love the fact that they exist. So Doom is a very over-the-top, silly game franchise, so I'm in. Next up, of course, when there's nothing more over-the-top and silly than Warhammer, and Warhammer has had a number of video games over the years. So these are novelizations for Warhammer 40,000 video games. Obviously, I've been reading a lot of Warhammer 40k stuff, and of course, I had to make sure I picked up the novelizations for the video games for GarbAugust. So I've got this, this is an omnibus based off of the Dawn of War franchise. So there's like 3 books tied into the video game Dawn of War number 1, and this is for Dawn of War number 2, the novelization for that. Now, I played these games back when I was a kid, before I got into anything else Warhammer. So this was really what got me into the entire nightmare that I am now in, where I'm just reading all of these books. But this is where it all started with the Dawn of War video games, and the video games are basically real-time strategy games where you have like a top-down view and you're building bases and you're fighting battles and stuff like that. And I always loved those games, so I'm interested to see if these are good. I have heard these are really bad. I've heard these are like extremely bad, and that makes me more interested. I haven't heard anything about this one, though, so we will see. And then, of course, a video game that's just awful. I tried playing this video game lately. This is Warhammer 40,000 Fire Warrior. It's nearly unplayable. It's a terrible first-person shooter that's just garderful. And, so obviously I had to buy the book for it because I make good decisions. This is one that I keep wanting to read, but I've never read yet. This is the Mortal Kombat book by Jeff Rovin. This is going to be good because it's by Jeff Rovin. I haven't been disappointed by anything that he's written so far. This was on my 23 to read in 2023, so this has been a long time coming. Gotta get to that one. Command & Conquer, another real-time strategy video game. I think this is going to be bad. I've read one Keith, this author's, one of his books. He wrote the novelization for Alien Isolation, which is like an alien video game. It was not very good, so I don't expect this to be very good, and honest to God, I bet you this is a DNF. But I kind of got it for like just making sure that I get everything right. Here's a Dean Koontz book, which I bought from Juan from Plagued by Visions by accident in one of his hauls when he was selling things on Whatnot. So this is just here to punish me, so I got to read that book. Here's another video game one for a video game I never heard of until I found this, which was Hell, a cyberpunk thriller. I recently hauled this, and that's when I discovered that this is a video game tie-in. So had to get on there. Another series of books that are here because I actually like the author. So this is Star Wars Republic Commando, which is another first-person shooter video game with squad-based mechanics. And they have a series of books based off of their exploits. And there's actually one more. Obviously, I'm not going to read the entire series. I just wanted to show off the entire series. These are all written by Karen Traviss. Now, Karen Traviss wrote a Halo novel that I read last year that I really, really liked, that book. So I'm really interested to dive into more Karen Traviss stuff. And she's only seemingly written, like, other video game adaptations. So I was kind of like, well, I guess I'm doing this. Like, oh, I don't have much of a choice. Speaking of Karen Traviss, she also wrote some Gears of War video game like things. Gears of War is a fun, again, third-person shooter. It's fun, but it's, it's not, the story is nothing too interesting, but I'm interested in it specifically because of the author. So I like Karen Traviss. I think it's very fascinating how many video game tie-in novels are actually written by women. It's much more than I've encountered in like movie novelizations or movie tie-ins. So I just kind of am interested to see if maybe that's a really interesting untapped element of the video game tie-in novel landscape, is that it takes a lot of these things that are, this is like a book about men war, shooty. This is a video game about men war, shooty. This is another video game about men war, shooty. So, like, a lot of these things have a lot of toxic masculinity in them. It's kind of the reason why most people who identify themselves as gamers are like, ugh, get out of here, you bore me to tears. But yeah, so I'm interested to see if the fact that these are written by women kind of have something to actually say about the video game landscape. Because I did read a Resident Evil book by Stephanie Perry. Great. It was awesome. It was really, really good. So that is just an interesting little tidbit there, is that a lot of these will be written by women. Stuff that is not written by women, and as such I'm not that interested in them, but I did get them for completion's sake. This is StarCraft Liberty's Crusade, StarCraft Shadow of Del Naga. This is another real-time strategy game series. I looked into like the overall storyline of StarCraft, and it looks extremely boring. It looks like an extremely boring sci-fi universe. But yeah, there's another one too. Again, these are like super short, so, and they have like huge text, so I'll probably read a little bit of them, but if I don't like them, I can just get rid of them, which is the same about these. It's another one. This is 2 Warcraft novels. Again, Warcraft started as a real-time strategy game, became an MMO, which is like this big online game, and the story sucked after they did the MMO. So the story of the series was actually pretty interesting up to Warcraft 3. So these actually go up to Warcraft 3, which is the one I played the most as a kid, and actually has a pretty cool storyline to it. So these two I'm actually kind of interested to see if I like them or not. It's kind of up in the air again. I might like them, I might think they're terrible, and just get rid of them immediately. What's nice about all those Blizzard books is I can get the audiobooks for them if I'm having bad mental health days, which is like brain fog or anything like that. And they're all only $10 on Audible, so like they're cheap audiobooks and they're full unabridged, so if I have to, I can do that. Next up, this is a first-person shooter, Resistance: The Gathering Storm. The only part I've seen, I've only seen one thing about this online, and it was somebody complaining that this book is terrible. Can't wait. This is basically like, it's like near the end of World War II, and then aliens appear, and you're just like, oh, that sounds weird and wild and fun. And then Alan Wake, which is basically I love Alan Wake the game. I haven't played it in years, but as a game, it's like kind of like Twin Peaks meets Stephen King. It's like this writer who starts having a lot of these weird things happening to him, and it is a very fun video game. If I remember, my brain is remembering right. It could suck. I haven't played it in very, very many years, but I'm excited for that because it is an interesting story, so I'd be interested to see how that adapts to the novel universe. 2 Star Trek books that I want to get into, Bloodthirst and The Entropy Effect. I read a bit of both of these when I was doing that exploration of what my GarbAugust TBR is going to be, so got them there. And then the last few weeks are actually the Anything Goes weeks for GarbAugust, which is where I have a bunch of things to go and Anything Goes. Now, obviously, I have more books than I will ever possibly read. The bonus about this is I'll probably just get rid of the ones that I don't read at this point, because if they're not by an author I like or know, and it's a dumb video game tie-in, I would have only bought it for this, so I can move on with life without them. These are probably closer to, these are kind of like pseudo men's adventure. I don't fully classify them as men's adventure, but that's only because they seem to have a more sci-fi bend. So this is a thing called Horn, and it looks like it's basically just like RoboCop ripoffs. I love RoboCop, so I'm down. Like, they just look like RoboCop ripoffs. And then Steel, which kind of, again, just looks like RoboCop ripoffs. So this is like this huge series. The last time I kind of collected and read through a pseudo sci-fi men's adventure series for GarbAugust, I ended up making a lot of space on my bookshelves because they were dead bad, and I just got rid of all of them. So, kind of expecting that to happen again this year. Who knows? Last video game tie-in. This one is actually a prequel novel, but again, this is written by Karen Travis for the video game Cities Gears of War. Almost done, folks. Almost done. I have a buddy read with my friend Kelsi from Slime and Slashers for the book Twilight. We're going to be reading Twilight, and then we're going to actually be doing a drunk commentary of Twilight. So that will be very fun on her Patreon. So I can't wait for that. Obviously, the buddy read, I'm not going to... That will be public. I just mean the commentary will probably be on the Patreon. And then what I have is a bunch of palette cleansers for when I get pissed off, which I will inevitably hate a bunch of these books. Like, I would say probably about 50% of these books are going to immediately be thrown in the trash. Well, I'm not going to trash them. I'm going to donate them, but you get what I'm saying. But I have a whole bunch of cozy cat mysteries to basically keep me sane throughout the months of GarbAugust. So anytime life starts being super stupid and the books seem to be unbearable and I cannot take another look at them, I'm going to read a cozy cat mystery and then reset myself. So that's what I'm going to be reading for GarbAugust. I've been planning this for a while. This is going to be a mistake, and I'm going to regret it all. Thank you, and have a good day. As always, I'll put a link to my new Patreon in the comments. I do that now. That's a thing. You come over there and have some fun. I'm sure I will be doing some fun GarbAugust-y things on my Patreon as well. So I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you next time. Toodaloo. Goodbye.